आचार्यादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घभवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम्। पूर्णाय बोधात्मने ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुम्। यः परमात्मा जगत् सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदा श्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भुजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभेयो। So now the teacher has given the pramanam, meaning that this is the process of the yauktika baadh, in order to explain what is the yauktika baadh. The inferential dissolution, one name, inferential falsification, or the inferential desuperimposition. Okay, because we are going to employ inference over here as a very important factor. And therefore, since it is a function of the buddhi, which is going to employ inference as a way of understanding something, knowing something, and for the when I'm going to use the word inference, always keep the example of fire in the mountain in your background. Okay, so now inferential baadha, falsification, dissolution, yauktika baadha, he has explained karana vyatirekena karyasya abhavaha. Other than the karanam, other than the cause, effect has no independent existence. And when I'm saying independent existence means, understand it this way. Now, for example, I have this book and this table, the book stand in front of me. this little stand or table in front of me. Okay. Now, is the existence of the book dependent on the existence of the table? Is the existence of the table dependent on the existence of the book? No. So, therefore, whether the table is there or not, the book will continue to exist. Even if the table is destroyed, the book will continue to exist. Correct? Or vice versa. Even if the book is there or not, the table continues to exist. So if the book is destroyed, nothing happens to the table. And therefore, these are two independent objects. And they are independent because neither of their existence is dependent on each other. Okay? So they are independent. Now, in case of clay in the pot or cloth and the strings, what is dependent on what? If the strings are removed, will there be the cloth existing? No. But if the strings are there, is the existence of the strings dependent on the existence of the cloth? No. So over here we find that out of these two, the cloth and the strings, the cloth is dependent, the string is not dependent. And that is because the strings are the cause, the cloth is the effect. So the cloth does not have any independent existence other than the strings. Strings are independent, cloth is not. So we understand over here, a principle is understood because inference will depend on drawing the principle, understanding the association. Technically, we call this as vyapti. What do we call it as? Vyapti. Okay. Niyamena sahacharyam. What is vyapti? Niyamena sahacharyam. That their being together is as a rule. Now, Ram and Shyam are two friends. Wherever Ram goes, Shyam also goes. And wherever Shyam goes, Ram also goes. There are two people and they are friends, thick as thieves, that were always together. Okay, they are always together. But can you say that their being together is something like a rule? No. And therefore, but wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Niyama. So we understand that there is some sort of the association of smoke with the fire is by the rule. This is the principle. If you have understood this principle, now you can understand existence of fire anywhere, wherever you see smoke. Okay? You are free to infer. This is how the inference works. So also over here, wherever the effect is, karanam is going to be there. Another thing is, without the karanam, effect does not have any independent existence. If these principles are understood, Now you can take them further and understand what is the effect, what is the cause. And so the Panchamahabhutas are, when we just say the 5 great elements, that is not going to suffice. We will have to specify, are those 5 elements grossified, or are they in their nascent form? So when you are going to say, well, grossified 5 elements is this world of names and forms everywhere. Okay, grossify. And therefore, how do they grossify? It is only the tamoguna amsha, the portion of tamoguna belonging to every element comes together and mixes with the other 4 elements. Thus, now we have the grossified world. Okay, we have the grossified world. Now, the world that we are seeing is where the tamoguna amsha of Prithvi element is predominant, and the other the tamoguna portions of the other bhutas, of the other elements, is slightly lesser. And therefore, in this combination, Prithvi is going to be the predominant factor. Wherever this is the case, we are going to say Parthivam, because it is Prithvi, belonging to the Prithvi, it is Parthiva. But there may be cases where there is, let us say, Agni, that element, Teja element, is tamoguna amsha of the Teja is predominant, Prithvi is less, water is less, and other Akashavayu is less. Over there, how is it? It is going to be Agneya. Just as this is Parthiva, that will be Agneya. Okay, so grossified world is not just Prithvi element, but all the elements wherever it is going to be. This, so maybe there are worlds and there are universes, where you are going to find, where one may find, and the science may discover in forthcoming centuries, existence of Agni element as predominant. Somewhere the Vayu element is predominant. But nevertheless, whatever it may be, the fact does not alter that it is grossified. And when it is grossified, it simply means tamoguna. Okay, so now all these names and forms which we are transacting with, including this name and form, this body, okay, is what? Nothing but the tamoguna amsha of Prithvi plus the tamoguna amsha of other 5. This is what it is. Though somebody may look white, somebody black, somebody brown, somebody yellow, somebody tall, somebody short, somebody young, someone old, someone is man, woman, young, old, whatever. But all this is nothing but the tamoguna. Like that, when you start understanding, and in this understanding, now karana rupena, what do they, avasthanam. What happens is karana satta tirikta sattanangikarat karana vyatirekena karyam nasti iti nishchitya tad vismritya. Now that karyam is vismritya. Like How you enter into a warehouse, storehouse, where all wooden furniture is kept. Now, this is a table, this is a chair, all these differences are forgotten. And what will you say? Suppose you are an inspector for safety against the fire breakouts. Then you go into that warehouse and you observe all furniture, some tables, some Chinese tables, some Japanese tables, IKEA tables, and chairs and stools and things like that. And then shelves and bookshelves and racks. And now you understand all what is there in this warehouse is just wood. You are not going to say, oh, that warehouse has got some tables, some chairs, some. No. All he will say is, it is all wood. And therefore, the safety has to be there. Because it is a table, not that it will not catch fire. It will. It is a chair, it can. Why? Because it is all wood. Now over here, when a person looks at all this furniture and recognizes that it is wood, so now for him, what is more important? To see if it is wood or not. It is all wood. Like that, karyam, tadvismritya. Tadvismritya means now. First of all, giving no importance to the karya. Karaneka gocharam smaranam. Now what remains on the surface for him is, this is all wood, like that karanam. Whether it is a man or a woman, yellow or white or black or whatever, brown, all this is tamo gudamsha of the Prithvi plus other. He sees that. Whether it is a man or a woman, what does it matter? Tall or short, what does it matter? Hare? This is all just Panchamahabhautika Shari. So now he sees that it is Smaranam Vilapanam. When this remains, absolutely clear to the person, this is called as Vilapanam. It is called as dissolution. Okay, and that's why, though it is baadh, but we are using the word vilapanam now. Like that, even with the jnanendriyas and the antakaranam, so also with the karmendriyas and the prana, all this is what? Panchamahabhutas. Somewhere it is sattva guna, somewhere it is rajo guna. That's the difference. So now everything, only the Panchamahabhutas remain. And every Panchamahabhuta, every element of this, amongst these five, is sattva raja tama. The sattva raja tama, sattva raja tama. Nothing but just this much. And in this, you are seeing this play. Somebody is a politician, somebody is a farmer, somebody is a teacher, somebody man, woman, young, old, all. Someone is cunning, someone is very, very simple, somebody is just, somebody is average intelligence, somebody is sharp, so on and so forth. Keval Panchamahabhutas. Now, when this happens and the recognition of these five elements is taking place, not your buddhi is not stopped. Oh, this is a good man, this is a bad man, this is a cunning fellow, this is a saint, this is no. It goes beyond and it sees everything is just the same. Now this is Karaneka Gocharam Smaranam. This kind of a smriti then is called as vilapanam. To make us, so sir, is that something that has popped out of your head, like the various new spiritual claimants? He says, no, this is what the Shastra shows. And hence he quoted, whom did he quote? Vishnu Puran. Jagat Pratishtha Devarshe Pratyapsu Praliyate Jyotishvapa Praliyante Jyotirvayo Praliyate Vayushchaliyate Vyomni Tachavyakte Praliyate Avyaktam Purushe Brahman Nishkale Sampraliyate. So now he says, our teacher of the tradition, Sureshwaracharya Bhagwan, also says so. And how has he said, how has he paraphrased that thing? Akaram Purusham Vishwam Ukare Pravilapaye Ukaram Taijasam Sukshmam Makare Pravilapaye Makaram Karanam Prajyam Chidatmani Vidapaye Iti. Akaram. So now he tells you this is the Upasana, Pranava Upasana. Oh, what is that? Akaram. This gross world, along with the Abhimani of the gross world, okay, is now dissolved into the subtle elements, and the subtle along with its Abhimani, which is Akara, then Ukara, because the word Om, the sound Om, is consisting of U and Ma. Then that is dissolved in U dissolves in Ma. Like that, over here, the gross dissolves in the subtle dissolves in the causal. And so, gone. What is there now? Even the Makar dissolves in the Purusha, in the consciousness. This dissolution means Tadvyatirekena Tadabhavaha, Karana Vyatirekena Karyabhavaha. Remember this all. Now, on 116, after the shloka of Sureshwaracharya Bhagavan, Abhyam Adhyaropapavadabhyam Tattvam Padartha Shodhanam Api Siddham Bhavati. Now he is going to take you into the next step of understanding. But before that, let us go to the commentary part. Okay. Uktakrame Pramanattvena Vishnu Purana Vachanam Daharati Tathacha iti. Now the krama, the sequence which he has explained before, okay, in the original text as well as in the commentary, that krama meaning sequence, okay, the sequence, Uktakrame Pramanattvena, as the means, Pramana, Vishnu Purana Vachanam Udaharati. Now, he gives you this quotation as the Vachanam, as a statement from the Vishnu Purana as a Pramana. that this is how we have known. Whatever we have said is known to us. But what has allowed you to know this? So statements like this. He gives you an example. Statements like this. So Vishnu Purana statement he gives. Jagat Pratishtha Devarishta, that thing. Tathacha. Tatra Vartika Sammatim Ah. So also Vartikara means Sureshwaracharya. This form of literature, which is called as Vartikam, is a very interesting one. It means a critical commentary. Vartika means a critical commentary. So Sureshwaracharya is the Shishya, is this disciple of Shankaracharya. And he has written the critical commentary on all, not all, but Brihadaranyaka and the Taitriya Bhashya of Shankaracharya. He has written the Vartika, the critical commentaries. He has written the critical commentaries on the commentary of Shankaracharya, his Guru, because that is what he wanted. What is that critical commentary? When is it called as Vartikam? So this critical commentary basically is in form of the verses. It is not an essay. It is not a prose. What is it? In form of verses, stanzas, shlokas. But over here, what happens is the critical commentator has got a big responsibility on his shoulders. Uktam. So he will explain what is said, what is obvious. That what is obvious, uktam, that is said. Anuktam, certain things are not said but meant. Isn't it? Few things may not be written by Shankaracharya, but he definitely means it. Okay? So, uktam, anuktam, or sometimes it may so happen that some aspect is mentioned, but few things are what do they call? Are not said because perhaps that author did not know, and therefore he did not say. So now it is the critical commentator's responsibility to bring forth even that what is not said. So explains what is said, what is obvious. Anuktam, that what is not said. And duruktam, even if there is something that is defective, he will not hesitate to say that this is something wrong. So this is the nature of Vartikam. Okay, and Shankaracharya told Sureshwaracharya, you write a Vartika, means uktam, anuktam, duruktam. Look at that. You know, it takes a very big heart even to admit that there is something duruktam, anuktam. This is how, you know, our parampara, the tradition, has admitted independent thinking. It never has stopped people from thinking independently, clearly. Independent thinking does not mean that you take a flight of imagination. Your imagination is not like some, you know, some people have written some books about Ganesha. In English, and they are professors of Hinduism and God knows what. But any which ways, this kind of an independent thinking is not independent thinking. These are your personal idiosyncrasies. Independent thinking means through the pramana, not leaving the pramana, not divorced from the pramana, any which ways. So Vartika Sammatim in the second quotation, it is not any Purana, etc., but it is Vartikam, Sureshwara's Charya's word. And Tasya Sammatim Aha. Adhyaropa Apavada Nirupanena Phalitam Darshayati Abhyam Iti. Now, what have we actually achieved by this whole intellectual exercise of Adhyaropa Apavada? What did you really get? What is the phalitam? What is the final product that you have got by understanding what is Adhyaropa, what is Apavada? Okay? What is Adhyaropa, what is Apavada? What did you get? So he says, Abhyam, Adhyaropa Apavada Abhyam. Through this Adhyaropa Apavada, through this process of thinking, which is called as the Adhyaropa Apavada, Tattvam Padartha Shodhanam Api Siddham Bhavati. Now, the clarity about what is meant by the word Tat, what is meant by the word Tvam is achieved. Okay? Abhyam Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Tattvam Padartha Shodhanam Api Siddham Bhavati. Okay? Without the Adhyaropa Apavada, we will not be able to understand the meaning of the word Tat and Tvam. How is the meaning? Vachyartha and Lakshartha. So Tat Pada, the word Tat, will have immediate meaning and the implied meaning. So also the word Tvam, when the Upanishad says you means what? Oh, you means it means I. What is this? What is this? Over here, the immediate meaning and the implied meaning of the words Tat and Tvam is understood through the process of Adhyaropa Apavada. Abhyam. So remember, if somebody ever asks you, hey, what is finally achieved by Adhyaropa Apavada? So what should be your answer? Abhyam Adhyaropa Apavada Abhyam Tattvam Padartha Shodhanam Apisiddham Bhavati. This is what we get. Okay? In one case, Upasana is taking place. Meditation, Samadhi Abhyas is happening. But what really we want is the Tattvam Padarthayo Shodhanam. Refined clarity about it. Crystal clear, without any doubt. What is that? Tathahi. Okay. Tadeva upapadayati tathahi iti. Now, that what we have said, that the tat padartha and tvam padarthas, shodhanam takes place. Shodhanam means refinement. Okay? Shodhanam means refinement. What is sho? Like, not just refinement. How should I say that? Say, suppose you cast a nugget of gold into the fire. So that nugget or some gold particles which are found in the what do they call them? The mines. Now by casting it into fire, what is happening? The impurity is burnt away, is removed, segregated. Is not it true? So removing that impurity, purification process is also called as shodhanam. Is called as shodhanam. Shodhanam means just not some research on it. It is shodhanam. Purification, clarity. So all other contamination is removed. So removing that contamination is shodhanam. Confusion about what is the vachartha, what is lakshartha, what is tat, what is tvam is all removed. And that's why this is what is achieved through the process of adhyaropa apavada. Tadeva upapadayati. Now that shodhanam which is achieved, which we have said, is brought to you further. Tathahi in the Mula Grantha. Tathahi mayadi samashti tad upahitam chaitanyam etad adhara anupahitam akhanda chaitanyam cha. What all things have come into this? Then we will go into the sentence further, because every word. Mayadi samashti. Totality, beginning from Maya. So that samashti karanam, samashti sukshma, and samashti sthula. Once again in English now. The total causal body. This total causal body is called as Maya. We have seen total causal body is Maya. The total subtle body. Okay. The total subtle body has got a word for itself, and it is called as Mahat. What is it called? Mahat. So total subtle body and the total gross body. Maya, Mahat, and the total gross body. Now we are not talking about the individual gross body. This gross body is the part of this gross world. And gross world just does not mean only the predominance of Prithvi element. Somewhere it may be Agni element, Vayu element, Akasha element. And the bodies will be according to that. But nevertheless, all this is Panchamahabhautikam, total. Now that what is even not known and exists only as a possibility in your head. Hey, everything total. So Maya, meaning the total causal body, the total subtle body, the total gross body. So he says, Mayadi samashtihi. All these things. Just by saying Mayadi samashtihi, all these three. Tad upahita chaitanyam. Now the consciousness conditioned by all this. Consciousness conditioned by the causal body. Total causal body is called as Ishvara. Consciousness conditioned by the total subtle body is called as Hiranyagarbha. And consciousness conditioned by the total gross body is called as Vaishvanara. In English, you don't have words for this. You'll have to go by the words. Okay? So what is Ishvara? Consciousness conditioned by total causal body is called as Ishvara. Then when from that causal body, the subtle body emerges, the total subtle body. So the causal body is already there, plus now its projection as the total subtle body. So total causal plus total subtle and consciousness conditioned by these two bodies is called as Hiranyagarbha. Then furthermore it becomes the total gross. So total causal plus total subtle plus the total gross. And then the consciousness conditioned by these three is called as Vaishvanara. Okay, is called as Vaishvanara. So Mayadi Samashtihi Tad Upahitam Chaitanyam. Tad Upahitam, Upadhi, conditioned by, Upadhi is conditioned. So conditioned by these three, Chaitanyam. Then Etat Adharam. Now what is the substratum of all this? The consciousness. This consciousness actually is not touched by anything of these upadhis. Why? Because those upadhis have the status of being mithya. We have seen this. They have the status of being mithya. It is badhitam. Baadh also has already taken place. Badhitam. So consciousness alone. So adharam chaitanyam etat adhara anupahitam akhandam chaitanyam. This chaitanyam is partless, but over here it appears as Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha and Vaishvana. Though it is partless, yet appears like this. Why? Because the conditionings are like that. If there is no conditioning of the total gross, consciousness will not appear as Vaishvanara. If there is no conditioning of the total subtle, consciousness will not appear as Hiranyagarbha. If there is no conditioning of the total causal, consciousness will not appear as Ishvara. So Chaitanyam, this consciousness, appears as all these, but really speaking, the consciousness is partless, without any parts. And so Akhandam Chaitanyam Cha, all these three things. Okay? Upadhi, Upahita and Anupahita. What all three things are there? Upadhi, Upahita and Anupahita. Anupahita means that which is not conditioned. What is not conditioned? Consciousness itself. Consciousness, conditioned consciousness means consciousness reflected in these upadhis. Akhandam Chaitanyam Cha. Now he gives you an example before we proceed. Tapta Ayaf Pindavat. Tapta Ayaf Pindavat. Aya means iron. If there is a iron ball, okay, pinda, whether a ball or just a lump or whatever, well, we will say ball because, for your visual this thing, it will give you a nice feeling. So there is an iron ball. It is put into the fire, then pulled out after a few minutes. It is red hot. Okay. Now please tell. Does fire mean iron? Does iron means fire? No. But over here in the tapta aya pinda, in this steel ball, which is red hot fire, you are going to say the steel burnt my finger. If you touch it, if the person touches, it is bound to burn the finger. Does the steel have the capacity to burn the finger? No. What has the capacity to burn? The fire. Actually, the fire burns, but you are saying, oh, my finger got burned because I touched that steel ball. Tapta aya pindavat. So over here, the fire and the steel is seen as one. Correct? Though they are different, but they are seen as one. Tapta aya pindavat etatrayam aviviktam. All these three, exactly like that hot ball of steel, all these three, upadhi, upahita, anupahita, as if are indistinct. When they are indistinct, you cannot distinguish between them. Undistinguished. So, aviviktam, ekatvena avabhasamanam, and they are experienced also as just one. Okay? Ekatvena avabhasamanam tatpadavachyartho bhavati is called as the vachyartha of the word tat. Now you see, all that we have gone through, the rigmarole is refined over here in this one sentence. What is called as the vachyartha? That all the three appear as one, and that is, though they are distinct, that is called as the vachyartha, the spoken meaning of the word tat. Now, what is vachyartha? What is the vachyartha of the word tat? Not what is vachyartha. Vachyartha means the spoken meaning, the immediate meaning. Whenever it is spoken, that what flashes in your mind immediately when the word is heard is vachyartha. Okay? So over here, what is the vachyartha when I'm going to say the word tat? It will be mayadi samashti tad upahita chaitanyam etad adharam anupahita chaitanyam. And this anupahita chaitanyam is partless and therefore akhanda chaitanyam. Okay? Tapta aya pindavat etatrayam aviviktam. All these three appear as just one. Ekatvena avabhasamanam, and it is seen as one, understood as one. Tatpada vachyartho bhavati. This is the spoken meaning of the word tat. Further, viviktam akhandam chaitanyam tatpada lakshartho bhavati. When you are able to understand the unconditioned consciousness, which is partless, because Maya, samashti karanam, samashti sukshma, samashti sthula. You know the words. All these three upadhis are only an appearance. Now, in this appearance, the consciousness conditioned by all these three appearances is also mithya. Because the conditionings are mithya, this is also mithya. And where is it seen? In consciousness. So what is finally the real thing of the meaning of the word tat? Is akhanda chaitanyam, anupahita akhanda chaitanyam, viviktam, from other, separate from all this, upadhi and upahita. How is it? Anupahita. How and what is the second feature? Partless. So akhanda, and that is consciousness. So tat padalakshartho bhavati. This is the implied meaning of the word tat. Okay. Now, if these meanings are very clear to you, now when it is employed in the sentence Tattvanasi, the brain will process it in a way. And how does our cognitive process takes place is going to be the next topic. But before that, get the clarity of this Tatpada Vachyartha and Tatpada Lakshartha. And don't just think that, in one goal, it will be understood like that. Hey, first of all, that upasana is also important. Where now karaneka gocharam avasthitihi has to be there. Okay? Vilapanam has to take place too. And therefore, we have to have even this meditation upasana along with it. And that upasana is the pranava upasana. So that's why Vartikakara Bhagavan's akara, ukara, makara was shown to us. So I will read that shloka once again and conclude the class now. And we will meet further to discuss the vachyartha and lakshartha of the tvam pada, of the word tvam, you, thou. But in the next class, as of now, just this pranava upasana. Akaram purusham vishwam ukare pravilapaye ukaram taijasam sukshmam makare pravilapaye makaram karanam prajnyam chidatmani vilapaye makaram karanam prajnyam chidatmani vilapaye. Merges, dissolves into U into Ma, and Ma in consciousness. This is the pranava upasana. This sthula into sukshma, sukshma in the karanam, the gross in the subtle in the causal, and that what is causal finally is found to be only an appearance, and therefore the consciousness was never divided, will not be divided, and therefore this undivided, partless, akhanda chaitanyam is the reality, which is the non-dual principle, Advaita Vastu. We will see that as the teacher leads us. Brahmam yat prasadena mayi vishvam prakalpitam श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणाम्भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौ स्तुतमारभे। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Thank you all. Thank you very much.